Hello guys, welcome to my channel, Mars Vaughan Barnsley. This is going to be a continuation of our exploration of the Cydonia region of Mars, taken by the Mars Express orbiter. It was taken at a resolution of 13.7 meters per pixel, which is about 46 feet. Gives you an idea of size, perspective. The area I want to concentrate on today, right, as part of our exploration of the region, is the south. Okay, so here we have the face on Mars. Okay, you can always use that as a focal point if you like. Okay, so we've got north, south, west and east, and the face, or the skull, is roughly in the middle of that. Okay, so anyway, this is, we move north, this is the area that I want to concentrate on. Okay, now because of the pixelation in the image when you zoom in on it, I can't really go in too close. See, as you go in, it just becomes hopelessly pixelated. Okay, so the only way to really look at some of the finer detail of the image is to use Windows magnifier or some kind of either physical or software imager. I can use Windows magnifier on this Windows 7 PC. I've got a better PC, much better than this, and I can't use Windows magnifier on it because it just won't work properly. Okay, so if the reason why I'm telling you that is if you want to explore it for yourself. Okay, sometimes you'll have success. I mean, I use Windows magnifier and it works perfectly okay for me. Alright, so let's go to actual pixels. So this is the area here, but because, like I say, it's so small, the only way to really get detail on it is to use the Windows magnifier. So if I come out of that, and I've already magnified some of the images, close up. So we just go to this here. Okay, so this is a close up using Windows magnifier. I haven't touched the image in any shape or fashion at all. This is the original untouched image. Okay, and this here is just what I want you to focus on just for a second or two. Again, it's the usual. I know it's a little bit blurry, I know it's difficult to make out detail, okay, but I do my best to try and bring this out. It's relatively clear as these type of images go, to be honest with you. I think so anyway, but I've been looking at these images for years, so I know every little detail on the image. But for yourselves, I'm just going to point it out to you. The first thing to notice is that these here seem to be statues. Okay, it seems to be a tight group of statues all together. Right, very difficult to see, very blurred, but if you concentrate on it, freeze the video and just look at it, you should be able to see where I'm coming from. And it seems to be like a group of people. When I first saw this, I actually thought it was a group, it was like a representation of something, like a town meeting or something like that. And that's what I had in my mind for a long time before I started understanding what I was looking at. But that was my very first impression. It was there were frescoes carved into the rock, or standing statues. I think they're carved into the cliff face. Okay, and if you just come down a little tiny bit here, you can actually see a massive entranceway. Can you see it there? It seems to come up, and there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 massive blocks along here, and then it comes down and rests here on what appears to be a wall. Yeah, I hope you can see that. So it's like a massive pillar here, and then there's like monolithic blocks, but they're hundreds of feet. They're absolutely massive, and there's a square entranceway here. So if you were standing there, you could walk underneath this entrance, carry on walking, and in front of you would have been the site of these statues. Okay, like I say, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 statues. One's very, very tall and slender, one's short and obese, one's like big and stocky, and the other one's just small. Now that is very, very, very important. The physical characteristics of these statues are very important. I mean, I did notice that when I first looked at when I first seen these, and I thought the actual statues seem to have been built in exquisite detail, if you like, as to the physical size of them, the physical characteristics of them. And I knew it was important, but I didn't know why it was important. I do now, after studying a little bit more, which I'll explain to you in a minute. Now, you're not going to really be able to see this, guys, but I'm going to tell you, at the side is a wall, right? This is a giant wall here, yeah? And this here is a throne on top. And although you'll find, if you most probably can't see it from your vantage point, but there's a woman sitting on this throne, and she's wearing like a very elaborate hairstyle or crown, and she's actually looking up 45 degrees, yeah, but you can't really see it. I've only ever seen it in pretty clear once or twice, just tweaking about with the colours and the sharpening and everything else. But I'm trying to show you the bits that I think you should be able to see, like the giant entrance here and the statues all huddled together. There's a wall here, and there's a throne, and there's this lady sitting on the throne. Okay, and then there's multiple structures all around this. If you'd have a look at it, stop the video and have a look at it carefully, you can see 90-degree angles, you can see walls, buildings. I've already pointed this out before. The Cydonia is a massive, massive city. And if you'd have a look along here, you can actually see very, very faintly lines. I don't know whether you can see that. Now, they're nothing to do with, or, well, the vast majority of them anyway, aren't anything to do with the processing of the image, I don't think. I think a lot of them are like structural supports, like this, coming down, coming off the top. See these here? Some of them are digital artifacts, like that there looks as if it's a digital artifact, but I think the vast majority coming around here are like structural supports of some sort, in my humble opinion. Now, if you come over 45 degrees, you will see another unusual object here, and what I think this is the profile of a human face, deliberately buried into the ground. Yeah, so we've got an eye, we've got a nose, and we've got his mouth is wide open. There's his chin, there's his cheek area, and if you have a look at it, you can see that he's startled. It's full of fear, and the impression I get is, you know, he's in pain. Something bad has happened, and he's shouting out in pain and fear. Yeah, and he's partially buried, which signifies something as well. Again, I'll explain in a minute what that is, what I think it is. Okay, and then there's all sorts of structures here, and there's a platform that comes along here, and it to me it looks like, as well as functional because the structure's on it, but it looks a little bit like a hand. This platform could be taken as an arm, and these long protuberances as his fingers. So he's buried, and he's reaching back for help here to the throne. Yeah, Okay, so just bear that thought. Now, so that was totally unenhanced. That was the original ESSA image. Okay, and then what I've done, I've experimented with different, different aspects of sharpening, desaturation, to try and bring these images out for you. Now I'm hoping that I have, and I've also like desaturated the image, contrasted it, and just basically experiment until I get the best image. Some people might agree with that and some might not, but I don't really care. I know what I'm looking at, and I want you to see what I can see. I'm not forcing you into anything. It's just my opinion of what I think we're looking at. I'm pretty certain I'm correct, because as you will see, as you watch these videos more and more, you will see that there is a very, very strong connection with what I'm going to show you and what I'm going to tell you and describe to you. Okay, so there's those statues again there. Can you see? Just let me get do a layer. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 statues, and here we have, that those the monolithic blocks, yeah. And then it comes down here, and there's the entrance there. You see that? So if you were standing there, you could walk underneath these blocks here, which are absolutely huge. I'm talking, if it's 45 feet per pixel, you're talking, a few hundred feet. Each block is a few hundred feet. These statues are hundreds upon hundreds of feet in length. And then we have, like, here we have structures. That's an entranceway there. All these dark areas are entranceways, so you can go underneath this, so you can walk underneath this mound, this structure, yeah. Okay, and then that's the throne. So they're actually in front of a throne with the lady on it. And like I say, if you come across, we can see the face again. Can you see the buried face? The eyes, the nose, the mouth. So you can see the eye, the nose, there's the mouth, there's the jaw there. There's like a platform here, or a tube, yeah. And then we've got this platform here with possible things coming down as if it's grasping, looking for help, yeah. And then if you have a look here, there's all 90 degree angles. There's buildings. A lot of it seems to be eroded actually, but you can see the lines in it. It's not part of the processing of the image. Let me tell you that before you start. It's the city. There's a city there, yeah, massive city. Okay, so come on to that one. I'm just going to show you a few of these, so hopefully you can get a good mental picture of the anomalies. Yeah, can you see them? See what this one's like. I mean, I just think they're absolutely phenomenal. I really do. Actual pixels. Can you see them there? And then all the structures around it. See, there's a square entranceway made out of those big monolithic blocks. And can you see the lines? I mean, I think they are structures of some sort. I don't know whether they're support structures, but they seem to go round the bottom of this dome. And the dome's artificial because you can see the supports on it. You can see the big support. It's been highly contrasted out, by the way, by NASA, but we can still see quite a bit of detail. Again, there's the face, there's the arm, the platform reaching out for help. Yeah. And I'll tell you what I think this is. Okay. Just let me go into this one because I think I've done this extreme close-up of it. Okay. Yeah. So what I think this is, right, is the Egyptian mythology, that the belief system of the Egyptians, right? If you look at the mythology, you will find one of the most important myths was the rivalry between the god Osiris and his brother Set, and the relationship of Osiris's wife Isis. Yeah, because Osiris went out into the broader world to bring civilization to mankind, because he'd already brought civilization to Egypt, and when he'd finished in Egypt bringing civilization, he decided to go up to the outer world and bring the rest of the world. And when he came back, his brother Seth decided to hold a banquet for him, and at this banquet he planned to murder Osiris. Yeah. And in the Egyptian myth, Set built a massive ebony chest, right, and presented it at the banquet that was held for Osiris on his return. And at the banquet, Set, the brother of Osiris, turned around and said to everybody, right, whoever fits into this chest can have the chest. And because it was such a marvellous piece of furniture, everybody wanted it. But unbeknownst to Osiris, it was a setup, because the only person that was able to fit into that chest was Osiris. Everybody was either too thin, too fat, too small, and too big. And I think that's where the physical characteristics of these statues come in, because one is very, very tall and slim, one is very short and fat, if I can say fat now, is not too politically incorrect, and there's a little guy here and then a big guy above. Yeah. And I think that's what these represent. I think these are the people that were at the banquet. This was the banquet, and it's not a town meeting the way I originally thought. I think it's the banquet, and the person sitting on the throne is Isis, because before Osiris went to bring civilization to the rest of the world, he placed Isis on the throne. Yeah. And in Egyptian depictions of Isis, she's often wearing like a long headdress, which signifies a throne. Yeah. So I think this figure, which is very hard to say with the elaborate hairstyle, is Isis. This person here is Osiris, and that's why he's depicted partially buried in the sand, crying out, reaching back for help. And this is the banquet. There's the throne, there's Isis, and obviously we see the entrance and all the structures and everything else. And I think this little tiny bit of Mars is showing us most probably the original template for that myth that I've just told you about, the rivalry between Osiris and Set, where Set tries to murder Osiris, because when Osiris tries to fit into the chest, Set jumps out and with his cohorts nails the chest shut and then seals it with lead. He then throws that chest into into the Mediterranean, or the Nile. I think it was that he threw it into the Nile, where I think this buried this buried face, who seems to be screaming out for help, I think that represents that particular part of the myth, the Egyptian myth, where Osiris is trapped in the chest. Yeah. Okay. I hope I was clear enough on that. And what I'm gonna do, right? I'm gonna do little videos like this, and I'm gonna build up the story for you, because I can't do it all in one, because it just makes the video much too long. Okay. So there's Osiris buried. There's the party, the banquet. There's the statues. Too tall, too short, too fat, too big. They would not fit into the chest, where Osiris did, and it got trapped. And then there's the massive monolithic entrance to this temple area. Yeah. Okay, guys. I hope you enjoyed that little video, and wait for the next part, where I'm going to show you the perpetrators of the crime that's being committed here, because this is a crime that's being committed by Set and his cohorts. Okay, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next video. Thank you.